Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to another episode of Minority Movie Report. My name is Rudy.
I'm Candace.
And today we watched the new Netflix movie, Enola Holmes.
Yeah.
So, overall general thoughts on Enola Holmes?
I thought that the story and the way that they wrote the story was actually really cute, very relatable, very fresh. It gave a kind of like an introduction to Sherlock Holmes for younger generations. Like if you're unaware of, the story of Sherlock Holmes, maybe it'll spark some interest to gain some backstory to kind of understand Enola Holmes a little bit more. So I thought it was a really great introduction for those who don't know, and kind of like a spin-off for those who
like a young adult Sherlock Holmes. Okay. Mm-hmm. I feel the same way. It's like for me, I think I would describe it as like my first Sherlock story. Yeah. So it's right off the bat, it's very predictable. Yeah. There's nothing in this movie that's going to surprise you
if you are familiar with Sherlock Holmes
or movie tropes.
Or movie tropes.
Yeah. But I want to say there's like an earnestness of this movie that's like it's very cutesy, very
whimsical.
Yeah.
It's very fun. But, it's playful. It still has some slight serious elements.
Yeah, there's some darker stuff in there.
Some darker stuff, a little bit more action than I expected. But it's definitely very light, very whimsical. It does have a comedic element to it. I ha-ha and he several times during the movie. So,
same.
I think it had a pretty good, just feel good vibe to it.
Yeah,
and it ended really cute.
It was a cute. They do definitely set it up for more stories.
For sure.
It's definitely, you can see that they want this to become the new Sherlock Holmes. This is now going to be
a setup.
Yeah, they want to make a franchise out of this. Yeah. Apparently, Millie Bobby Brown and Henry Cavill don't got enough money, so
I guess we need to give them. I'm always
more
fine
money.
with giving Henry Cavill more money for any project that he decides to do.
Listen, when
Henry.
Let's talk a little bit more about the movie in depth. It did get dark in some places. There was the villain character, the bad guy, I guess you could say, is an assassin. Yeah. And so, he tries to kill Enola by drowning her. Yeah. And it's for a minute, I was like, oh shit, this escalated quick.
I think the fun part about this movie was that it gave you all the classic, characters and, character interactions of, the original Sherlock Holmes, but with a complete new story, new villain, new...
They slapped a fresh coat of paint on it. They're pretty much. Same Sherlock new coat of paint.
New coat of paint.
Beautiful. Look at this. We got it.
There's some lights in here, some shiplap.
Yeah, it's a beautiful teal.
And
you love it. We got farm doors. Are they farm doors or ranch doors?
Farm doors.
Farm doors. Yeah, we got farm doors. It's beautiful.
Burlap and mason jars with white roses and tree lights.
Yeah, it's beautiful. You're gonna love it. You can see yourself living
here. Yes, you can see yourself living here in Enola Holmes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But so it did get a little dark. It wasn't afraid to be a little adult, but still cheeky. Yeah, and I think that's probably my favorite thing about this movie is
it has some edge to it.
Yeah. They're like we might kill her right now,
but we might not.
But they don't.
You gotta wait until they don't kill her. Sorry, spoiler. They don't kill her.
Well, I think these first series of videos we're doing are just gonna be just bucket spoilers.
Bucket spoilers.
Bucket spoilers. Let's go.
We're gonna call this segment Bucket Spoilers.
There we go. So skip ahead to whatever I timestamp later. So her fourth wall breaking is.
I'm not mad about it.
It's clever. But she doesn't. Yeah, she doesn't talk to the camera. It's sort of like a.
It's almost like an inner monologue, as if she kind of goes within herself to kind of work her shit out, and then steps back into the reality where she is. But they show that by breaking the fourth wall. Yeah. It's not her talking to the camera, at least in my perspective. It's her having that inner.
Yeah, but she did do a little bit of talking to the camera to kind of get to the more complicated parts. But there were certain character interactions where she was talking with the Marquise. Fuck it.
Marquis?
Tewksbury.
The Marquis.
Yeah, I thought it was Marquise. They kept saying Marquise in the video, in the movie.
But it's spelled Marquis.
Well, they spelled it Marquees, and Marquis is Marquis. So they were like Marquise.
Okay, then some Marquis.
Fucking like Reese's.
Okay, then so Marquis.
So
that sounds black, but I'll go with it. I couldn't hear a lot.
I know.
Okay, so
we had
our
company.
boy Marquis.
Yeah. Our Marquis, the Marquis of Tewksbury was kind of.
Marquis of Tewksbury.
God, now I'm just like, what up?
I wish I would have caught that.
Yeah, it was a little loud in our house today. So like every time she like interacted with him, and there was like a fun or cheeky interaction, she'd like look at the camera like, maybe, and like go back to her thing.
Did this just happen? Did this bitch just disrespect me?
Yeah, she's like cute though, and then I go back to her thing. Yeah.
I like it.
So there was like, so she did talk a little bit, but at the same time she was like, she most of the fourth wall breaking was like.
It was almost like she was working through her thoughts, but breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah, and listen, it worked for me. I like because they didn't abuse it. It was sprinkled in just enough to like shorthand.
Yeah, it wasn't just like her walking down the street doing a documentary of the things that are going on.
Yeah, this wasn't House of Cards. I'm not getting like a 5-minute monologue as he's like killing a dog.
Yeah, no, none of that. It was not as nearly as long as a House of Cards wall break. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. That should be a completely another like category in like the Academy Awards, like the Oscars or something, like best fourth wall break. Those two. Kevin Spacey.
Is he still canceled?
Yeah, cut that out.
Yeah, no, he's canceled. So. But because normally this is the part where we do like a, would you spend money on this movie? Obviously,
we've spent money on this movie, whether we liked it or not.
Netflix.
Would I watch it again?
Would you watch it again?
Yeah, I would watch it again.
Yeah.
Not for the reasons today.
Right.
So would I watch it a third time? I'll have to let you know.
Okay. I think for me, this is I could watch it maybe one or two more times, but I don't think I get much out of it beyond that. It's a very simple story, very sort of pared down and obvious. But I mean, we watched way too many movies, so we saw a bunch of stuff coming. There is the twist at the end of you think it's the uncle, but it's the grandma.
What did you think about the mom? What did you think about Helena and her role?
You know, I like Helena. I like Helena Bonham Carter when she's not doing Tim Burton movies.
That's funny because people would argue that's where she thrives most. Is in Tim Burton movies.
You know, God, who was it? The girl who plays Raven in the new X-Men. What's her name?
I know her name.
Yeah.
Jennifer Lawrence.
You know how Jennifer Lawrence was doing all those like serious movies with she's like Silver Linings Playbook, and she was like with
Passengers.
She was like with that. I don't think so, but she was like with that director. She did like 4 or 5 movies. She did like 4 or 5 movies with the same director.
Joy.
I think Joy was one of them too. So like
and American Hustle.
I think so because it had the guy who plays Rocket Raccoon, Bradley Cooper.
Oh, we should have gone with something else. I would have given Bradley Cooper, but it's fine. Yeah.
Well, Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence were teaming up for a little while with the same director. So like you can thrive like you can thrive in that environment where like everything's familiar and you know what you're gonna get, and like they hit that job and they do very well. They do excellently. But I like to see people branch out. It's like when I saw, you know what? Better example. Chris Evans doing Captain America. We love Chris Evans doing Captain America.
For sure.
He did great stuff. But when
for a long time, you didn't see him in anything else except.
But you love it every time you see it. You're like sure. Chris Evans Captain America. Fucking
like Chris Evans is Captain America.
Yeah.
And I don't want to hear another damn word about it.
Exactly. And so, that's but like when he jumped into Knives Out.
Yeah.
With that fucking sweater looking all sleazy and sexy
honestly,
at the same
time. Honestly, the
time.
last time I saw him in anything besides the Captain America logo, he was in Not Another Teen Movie.
With the banana.
With the banana. That's the last time I saw
Yeah.
Chris. And, you know, he had the Letterman jacket and the turtleneck, and he looked at himself.
Yeah.
That's the last time I remember Chris Evans doing
But he
anything
was, but like,
remotely memorable.
but like you love to see somebody branch out of their comfort zone. So going back to the beginning of this whole conversation, watching Helena Bonham Carter break out of the Tim Burton movies and do something different,
and not as dark either. Like, she was very positive. She was very strong.
Yeah,
you know
she was a strong woman, and they played that in the. You know what? I just realized, like watching Helena Bonham Carter break out and do something lighter, but she was like a strong.
Yes, like she was very, very adamant and very conscious about teaching her daughter that, you know, this is a man's world, but you got to know how to play it, sis. And you have to be smart about it. You have to be intelligent. You have to be well read. You have to pay attention. Like she taught her observational skills.
Mm-hmm.
She taught her code breaking. She taught her, you know, some form of self defense just to prepare her daughter for.
She gave her daughter every opportunity to succeed, where other men would have denied her, basically because of what
she's a woman. Yeah, but her mother prepared her for that. Helena did a great job.
So
playing that role.
I liked because she was strong. She was independent. She like a wacky mother, I guess, but
quirky. If you will.
But you know, I didn't hate it. I thought it was really good. And I'm excited to see. You know what? I hope they make a second, maybe even a third one.
So I guess, how do you feel about Millie Bobby Brown and her performance in kind of taking on that? I hate to say it, but it's almost like the stereotypical "I'm different" role. You know, that's the only thing I would say about.
Right. They kind of gave her like a Mary Sue, like there's nothing she can't do. But at the same time, if you think about it,
like she's so different, and men would never, almost like she was like Belle in Beauty of the Beast, where she was so well read and she was smart, and all the women and all the men thought she was really weird and really, you know, they just felt sorry for her.
I would agree with you normally, except for Enola Holmes is supposed to be an exact copy of Sherlock Holmes. So where normally I'd be like, yeah, she kind of does everything, whatever, but like Sherlock Holmes kind of does everything, whatever. So does Batman. No one bitches about Batman being a fucking.
But it's different. But that's the point. It's different because she is a woman. So sometimes, like, you have to consider how the roles transfer based off of the fact that she's a woman and how she is viewed and how we're going to view her because of our, you know, unsubconscious bias and things like that. Like the way I see it, it's just another way to. It's like a character, a female character who breaks the gender norm.
Right.
That if you just bare bones, you just break it down. It's Enola Holmes. It's doing.
Right.
I'm gonna do what's not expected of me, and I'm also gonna do what men do and expect a different result.
Interesting you say that, because now that you're talking,
and you got your ears turned.
Yeah, well, because did you ever see that Jennifer Garner movie where she basically plays the Punisher?
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. I can't think of
the name
of the movie. We're terrible.
Jennifer Garner basically plays the Punisher. Like, she lost her family to gang violence, goes on this, like, disappears for a little while, comes back, goes on this rampage of a killing spree, trying to find the people who killed her daughter, her family. And, like, if that's not a carbon copy of the Punisher.
Do you see what I mean? Like, when you take it and you put a woman in that role, and not to say that it should be controversial and it should be, we want to view it as the same. We genuinely do. But at the end of the day, we don't view it the same.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I'm trying to bring towards, I guess, the perspective of Enola Holmes being an exact carbon copy of Sherlock Holmes. Sure, she has all the skills, absolutely. She has the book smarts, absolutely. She has the wits, absolutely. She has the know-how. She has the drive. She has the passion, absolutely. But it's the simple fact that she's a woman in a man's world trying to do all these things, trying to prove to people that she does have these capabilities, that she can do the exact thing that Sherlock Holmes can do. It's kind of a repetitive storyline at this point.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. You want something unique.
But what's unique?
That's fair. Tell me a story that hasn't been told.
I don't know. So
this is why we do this shit. have these conversations because I didn't think of it like that. I was like, this is really good. I don't want to say I really enjoyed the story, but I had fun with it.
Yeah,
you know?
and I'm not saying that it was fun, but just from my perspective as a woman, this is another role in the same that I see this character that they keep pushing towards. If you want to say that, if you want to get real.
Stop me if I'm misunderstanding you, but
okay.
You want a fleshed out female character who's not just a carbon copy of a male character. You want something from the female perspective where it's not
her copying something that a man has done. It's her just completely doing whatever the fuck she wants to do, regardless if a man was going to do it or not. She was going to do it regardless.
Interesting. Okay.
Like, you see what I mean?
Yeah, no, I see what
because
you're saying.
right now, like you said, same thing with the Punisher. It's a very customary, recognizable male movie, male role. Mm-hmm. But you just switch the main character and make it a woman, and now she's bending all these gender norms, and she's strong, and if he can do it, then so can I. And I just kind of feel like that's just such a repetitive storyline that they've been giving women as of late. Is, I can put myself in a man's shoes, and I can do just as much as I can do what he can do. Why are we trying to do what he can do? Why can't we do other things besides why can't we do some new shit? Like, we know we're good. We know we're awesome. We know we have different ideas. We know we're innovative. We know we're smart. So why do we have to be a carbon copy of a man in order to be accepted?
You know what? I think that points to something in Hollywood where, like, they have all these male writers, not a ton of female writers, and maybe that's something we need to look into, is who wrote this movie. So it's actually based on a book by a woman.
Okay.
But the screenplay was written by a man.
And I know it's hard to try to get representation for everybody. Like, you're not going to please everybody. And I completely understand that. And I'm not saying that they didn't do a good job with this movie, because I think it was great. I think they did a great job. I think the performances were really well. I think they casted it great. And I think that the movie had a really great flow. It kept the action. It kept you engaged. Mm-hmm. But it's just viewing it, like you said in the beginning, you knew exactly what was going to happen. You knew the story was very predictable.
Yeah.
And that's because Enola Holmes is a carbon copy of Sherlock Holmes. And because you've watched and you've seen Sherlock Holmes, and it's predictable.
Okay. That's interesting. In fact, actually, you bringing up the representation thing made me realize just now, how many people of color were in that movie? Lestrade?
Just us watching.
Lestrade was the...
He was brown.
He was brown. Indian? I don't know.
He was brown.
I don't want to say. He was not white. He was definitely a minority.
He was not white.
But the rest of the cast, top to bottom, even the extras.
There was at the very end, the guy who sold Enola the newspaper to me.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
he was black.
The newspaper guy was black at the very end of the movie.
The help.
Damn. They couldn't get one...
There was no black people in London during that time, you know?
But they couldn't... That's like that Middle Earth thing. Like, there's no black people in Middle Earth. Why?
Because they're just not. They didn't make it here yet. The boats didn't travel that far.
They didn't find Africa yet.
Yeah, no, I'm saying the boats didn't go that far.
They skipped Middle Earth, went straight to North America.
Yeah, they're like, they're not needed here. We need them more over there. The hobbits can take it from here.
Yeah, the hobbits smoke all the tobacco anyways. There was a serious lack of representation in this movie. Not to say that it wasn't a fun movie or wasn't worth watching. It just they could have put at least two more.
So here's a controversial question.
Okay.
Do you think this is real controversial?
Okay.
Do you think that it's always necessary to have 100% representation in each film done? So, for example, moving forward in a perfect world, do you expect anytime Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, fucking Peacock, and whatever else we have coming out, anytime they make new movies, like in 2020 moving forward, is that something that's expected now? Is that something that the public, is that something that we as society are demanding for? Like, if you're going to make a movie, you need to make sure that you have some people of color. You need to, not even just people of color, women, Asians, black people, Hispanics. Like, is there always a need for constant representation to tell the story? Like, is it necessary that we have extras in the background who are of, not white?
Yeah.
And not men? Like, let's just leave it at that.
I
Not
would-
white, not man.
I would say I would like more people of color in primary roles. Not what is it? Supporting.
Mm-hmm.
We got supporting,
But just not main.
not main. They never give us the title card.
Yeah, you're right.
You know,
We're always
you're
the-
never Enola Holmes.
No, I'm never Enola
Oh.
Holmes. I'm the boy.
The boy.
I can't think of his name right now.
Marquise. Marquise the Turksberry.
The white boy with a black name. Representation. You're welcome. They gave you exactly what you asked for.
I can't with that.
Like, on paper, you're like,
Marquise.
And then in person, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
Marquise, welcome in.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah. I would like to see more people of color in leading roles.
Right.
I think I'm all for a supporting actor, actress. Like, sure. What did who won for The Help? What was her name?
Viola Davis.
But yeah, she like was it Viola or was it? Oh my God.
Oh, Olivia.
Thank you,
Octavia Spencer.
Octavia Spencer. Thank you. Octavia Spencer is an amazing actress, but I would like to see her in a lead role. That's not a horror movie.
Okay.
Okay, I would like to see her in a serious, dramatic role because they gave her Hidden Figures, and they gave her Mama, but like
Was Octavia Spencer in Hidden Figures?
was that Octavia Spencer? Or am I
That was
thinking?
Taraji P. Henson.
No, I know Taraji P. Henson, and then
Janelle Monáe.
who was the third? Was that Octavia Spencer? Or am I fucking confusing shit again? I
My
was
bad.
right, Octavia Spencer. So, but like I see her in all these like other roles. I wish Hollywood would give her a better chance. Taraji P. Henson too. She's fucking amazing.
Taraji is pretty good.
And
And
then-
mostly she gets typecast in those typical... I guess the issue is, how do you get, if I'm just being straight up plain and simple, how do you get white people to go watch a movie with a minority lead role without them assuming that it's a minority movie?
I just
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I
Like,
just-
anytime there's a movie with a woman of color, like, for example, Regina Hall, and, Marseille, what is that young girl's? Marseille Sleep? She's from Blackish. She plays one of the twins on Blackish.
she's the one who did Little.
Yes, the one who
Okay.
did Little. I can't think of her last name, but for example, and Issa Rae.
Yeah, it's always got to be struggle though, right?
That's what I'm saying. So, for example, as great of a movie as Little was,
Love Little.
it was really good. I thought it was a great storyline, and also not to mention the fact that it was written and produced by an adolescent, which is amazing. One of the youngest producers of our time. Like, that is phenomenal. But the fact that it was almost an all black cast, especially some strong female leading roles in there, it was mostly successful in the black community. It was mostly successful in the minority community.
Yeah.
We got more views and more tickets sold to our group of people, but
Yeah, 'cause
it
it
doesn't
was-
really get to the
Because
Caucasian
it was basically
side. Regina Hall.
well, what was Little basically up? It wasn't. Why am I thinking of that Tom Hanks movie where he's little and it gets big, but it's backwards?
Yeah, that's called Big.
Big, thank you. It was just like a reverse Big, but I just
Like, I don't know if I'm being clear. I'm probably stumbling over my.
going back to your point. How do you get the majority community to come in and watch a minority movie? I'm
Thank
not
you,
sure.
yes.
I'm not sure how to do that, but the success of Black Panther tells me that it can be done.
True. So what you're saying is we just need to give them more black superhero movies?
Well, I mean,
Because the reason that Black Panther got the clout that it did was
Marvel.
because it was Marvel.
yeah.
Not because, like, if it was some standalone,
I don't
superhero
think
action
it would've
film,
gotten-
it would not have gotten the visibility
I
that
think
Black
you need to.
Panther
I think
got.
you need to sneak this stuff in because Black Panther wasn't his first movie.
It definitely was not his first movie.
No, it was Civil War.
Right.
Civil War was when we were introduced to Black Panther.
Mhm.
So I think
That's
and it
when he
sucks-
showed up on the roof
Yeah.
in the middle of Steve trying to save Bucky.
Yeah. So I think
Well, no, that's Winter Soldier. No, wait, no, that's Civil War. They was on the roof.
Yeah, Civil War. I think you need to do a little bit of subversion where like you bill it, you introduce something somewhere else, and then you give it, and then if it gets enough acclaim, then you jump it over here.
So you just subliminally like just sneak it in.
I mean, how else? How else is it like? That's how. I don't want to say that's how drag culture got popular, but drag culture, people have been stealing from drag culture for so long that it's gotten to the point where now drag culture is in the mainstream culture.
That's true.
Same thing.
Like more people, like at least more people I know today know about ballroom, mostly because it's getting more exposure and it's in more movies, it's in more TV shows, and it's more openly talked about.
Yeah.
It's not as much of a taboo as it used to be to talk about things like that. So I understand what you mean. Just kind of like the slow introduction.
It's one of those. I think it's one of those things where it's not going to happen overnight, and it's not going to happen in a couple of years.
Yeah.
I mean, think about like rap, hip hop, R&B. All that stuff started way back in the 90s, 80s, and 70s, and slowly progressed to the point where now, like, you got white rappers, white R&B artists, and like it's
evolved
now
to the point where we don't know what anybody's saying.
Now everybody, and it's gotten to the point where it's like it's mainstream now, and it's not weird, and it sucks that it's this way now. But I'd like to see more. I'd like to see progress faster, but I'm not against the progress that I'm saying.
No, I agree. It's like we're glass half full instead of the glass half empty outlook on it. Like we're at the point where we're recognizing we do have more representation, more so than we ever have before.
I mean, look at Watchmen.
Yeah, exactly. Look at Watchmen. First, absolutely, we have Regina King, who is killing the main character in Watchmen. So I agree. I 100% agree that we're not as far back as we were, but there still is room for growth. There still is room for inclusion.
Yeah,
and there's still room for accurate representation.
Yes, absolutely.
And not to say like, okay, well, obviously, in some areas during certain time frames, yes, there were probably very limited Black people out on the street because they were probably, in the house or working, or actually just working, just holding down a job. Like they weren't really introduced and welcomed in society. So it would make sense why they weren't, on the street of the marketplace, because that's not where their role was at the time.
Yeah, and this is a good conversation we're having. I like where this went. It's completely off the rails, but I like where this has gone. So
minority movement.
That's the point.
For us to digress into hard-hitting, controversial conversations.
And you know what? These are conversations that need to be had. Like, if we don't talk about it, and not even you and I, but it's
just
like
opening a dialogue, just kind of putting this out, just to say, hey, like, let's just think about this, and not to necessarily say that the things that are out right now are bad or wrong or they should have done a better job. No, like I said, we are like even with Cursed. Yeah. We got to see King Arthur in the role of a black man, so that's great. But it's a slow progression, like you said. Yeah. It's not going to be overnight. It's not going to be overnight change, but it is better than what it used to be.
Oh, for sure. And I like how you said we're looking at the glass half full, but I like to think of it like I'm looking at the glass half full, but I'm still asking you to fill up my glass.
Like top me off?
Yeah, just I want a little more, please. Just a little. Can I get just fill it up? Like I'm happy with where we're at, but I definitely want more.
So you're a greedy son of a bitch.
I want it all. This culture belongs to us. Fully digressing. Back to Enola Holmes. Welcome back. Welcome back to Enola Holmes. If you got kids, this is a great movie.
Your kids would like this movie.
Kids are going to love this movie.
I don't like kids, but kids will like this movie.
Kids are going to like this movie a lot, and I think this is worth. Yeah, if you got kids, I think this is worth your time. You're already paying for Netflix. Everybody got a Netflix account.
I was gonna say this is definitely a pop some Orville Randbacher and pop it in a big old bowl and sit on the couch and pass around those store-bought Raisinets because we know we can't go to the movies and just kind of have some nice fun family time. I will say it's a little bit long. I felt like it needed an intermission.
There were some parts they could have cut out. I didn't need her in the boarding house.
Yeah.
I think we could have done without that whole section.
I mean, it was funny. It was maybe it's relative to later on.
Got to show her like her spirit, her fortitude. She wouldn't break.
Yeah, and she's not taking any shit. She's not gonna have people run over her, which was nice in the aspect of her character arc. Yeah. But I agree that I could have gone without that scene. The story could have progressed just as well, and you wouldn't have missed any important information with that scene being taken out. So it was a little bit long, a little lengthy. Prepare yourself, prepare your kids.
But it was a fine movie, and I think you're gonna have a good time with it.
For sure.
If you watch a lot of movies, maybe this isn't for you. This is definitely like my first like mystery sort of movie. There's a lot of tropes. They play into a lot of stuff that you've already seen before, or variations that you've seen of. But I don't know. As a fan of movies and as somebody who likes to see the positive in most things, a lot of things, I was fine with it. I'm probably gonna watch it again. It's definitely a comfort, like just like 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Just kind of like lay in
bed. Like, you know what? I just got home. You know, like it's at the end of the day. I've just had a shower. And, I need something fun, relaxing, nothing serious to watch. I definitely throw in Enola Holmes. Yeah. It's, like I said, it'll definitely hold your interest. It'll keep you guessing throughout the movie. It's not as predictable as I thought it was. There are the storyline itself, you know that it's going to start here. The middle's probably going to be a little bit something like this. The ending's going to be this. But it's just kind of, how do we get there? Yeah. Is the fun part. So I enjoyed it. Exactly. Yeah. I did enjoy it.
Okay, so Enola Holmes. I'm a watch.
All
right, guys. Enola Holmes. You got 2 watches right here. So go, put it up in your queue, and write down in the comments. Let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Here we go. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Like, share, subscribe.
Let your friends know, and help us get more widely known. Yeah. We're a young channel.
We're just starting off. As you can see, we are still growing. We're still trying to produce the best show possible.
Yeah, we're currently building a studio upstairs, so we're working on that.
Bear with us.
Yeah, but for now, this is what we're going to be filming for the foreseeable future, or for the temporary future, and then we're going to transfer over once we get the studio finished. But thank you guys so much for watching. We greatly appreciate it. Have yourselves a good day, and take care of yourselves. It's a crazy world out there.
Bye.
When you can, God, it just reminds me. Did you ever? You saw the Mission Impossible with him in it, right? The new mission.
There was a new Mission Impossible.
Yeah, with Tom Cruise and Hank Cavill. Yeah. No. In the trailer, I'll show you the trailer after this. But in the trailer, like Henry Cavill, like shakes his arms out. But when he does, they make like he shakes his arms out and shakes his arms out. And when he does, they do like a gun cocking noise. It's like and it's so good. It's so dumb. I love it.
So relevancy?
I'm down for Henry Cavill whenever. Like he can reload. If he can reload his arms in a trailer, like give him all the money. I'm down.
So did I get you to this one? Because I don't remember Henry Cavill reloading his arms in this trailer.
No, he was just charming as hell.
Fair.
Yeah. So I'm down.